Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Brian C. and this is my cousin Jason. We have been traveling for work for many years combined. Personally, I think traveling for work online, especially YouTube, is extremely underdeveloped. Not that many people know about all the jobs that are available, how it is, what it is, etc. One of the things I would love everybody to know, at least there's a record that people can look for free. They don't have to pay, and they can find all the information they need if they're interested in doing what we do or have done.
Right.
Exactly. Of course, everything, it's not just work. Getting that money through the week when you work, you can have endless what do you call it, endless hobbies. You can have endless hobbies, and whatever else you want to do when you come home is perfect for someone that's single like me. Like if you're single, you don't have any kids or partners, that money that's left over during the week can be used to do so many things. It's incredible. Or if you're a family man, you can buy your kids or your grandkids more stuff, save up for your retirement, that kind of thing, which is beneficial. Both sides have, it's an equal give and take, I would say.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if anyone is interested in that, in what we do on the weekends when we come home, family life, how things affect our spouses, male or female.
It's the single life versus the married life.
Yes. The contrast. You would show the contrast, and you would say, okay, well, this is kind of what you can expect from this. This is kind of what you can expect from that.
Right.
Not saying that anyone is better than the other, but there's a chance. Right. There's a give and take
difference
on each side. Whether it's right for you or if it's not, you should know what you're getting yourself into on both sides.
Yeah.
Being away from, say, your spouse, and then being away from literally everyone. There's a few. I mean, in future videos, we'll absolutely go over each one individually, because there's way too much time to. If we were to say everything, we'd literally be here for 48 hours. I mean, maybe even longer than that. It's not, nobody's going to watch for that long. Which I get. I don't either. I love 5-10 minute videos.
Yeah, it's the short videos.
Yeah. Everybody, just short and sweet, because you might not want to know every topic. Just a few topics. There will be a lot of things coming in the future about traveling for work, and what we do on the weekends, and literally everything in between. The only thing I wanted to do today on the intro video was to let everybody know we're in Kentucky, in the United States, and for the past, me a little bit longer, about 2 years longer, our work details us to go to multiple states. So traveling for work, essentially. Right? So we have a slight unique perspective on what it's like to travel regularly without COVID, and when COVID hit, what it was like during COVID, and that spot, I don't know what you would call it, that spot in between not having COVID and having COVID, and everything changing. I'm not sure what the name of that would be, but just a little bit about everything, because I have a few things to say about each one. So we're going to start. So I started in 2016. The same year we got a new president, so that was interesting. But I started in 2016 before the COVID, and I started off making half of what I made that year traveling, and it was great. I gained 20 pounds from eating fast food by traveling, so there are downsides and upsides, but um, I wanted to know your impression. So when you finally did start working and doing this essentially the same thing as I did, how did you feel essentially about moving from a job from local to a job that actually travels? How do you feel about going from one to the other?
I loved it. I loved going to see all these other states, all these cities, and all these people I otherwise never would have ever got to meet. Going to try new restaurants in other states that I'd never even heard of and tried them. You know, just it was something different every week. I'd go back to work and I'd go to a different state,
The
a different city.
experience.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The experience.
Mhm.
That's exactly what
And the money was good.
absolutely. That well, as far as the traveling part, that's exactly what I thought of at the first. Um, when I was a kid, we didn't go on vacations. I mean, not like most people do, but when you get that opportunity to leave your vicinity or your city or your state, all those avenues start opening up, and it what's the word, broaden your horizons.
Yeah. To really see what the rest of the world, or the rest of the United States anyway, the constituent U.S. is like.
Yeah. So I mean, most likely, well, I mean, you went to Hawaii when you were a kid, but most likely as adults, I'm not going to Alaska or Hawaii. Most
Yeah,
likely, I think it was what 10% of Americans have passports. I know now that the Real ID has changed things a little bit, so everybody has to get state verified. You have to prove to travel. You have to prove to the state that you're not a risk, which is getting a passport. The State Department of the United States says, okay, he's good, let him on the plane, you get a passport. Side note, I got my passport during COVID. I can't go anywhere. We can't leave the United States. If we leave, we can't come back, or we can't come back and we'll be jobless. Seriously, this country is wild. Future videos, again.
Mm-hmm.
So, just say one of the things that I noticed during COVID was when all the restaurants stopped seating people inside. It was in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and the McDonald's I went to. Usually I go in because the drive-thru's full, and you can get it and you can leave. I think that was in, I want to say April. Like the end of spring and the beginning of summer is when America really started taking things seriously, and all the businesses started closing. It wasn't that much different.